That's red oak. You see the back of the UTV kind of squat when I dropped that. So that tells you how much that weighs. That was a pretty big, heavy piece. Hey, welcome back to the channel. I'm Tony. This is Tony's Tractor Adventure. We are working on the cabin, but not really. This is in front of the cabin. We're going to be cutting all these trees down over the next few weeks, months, 6 months. I don't know. Winter, when it cools off and it's a little bit easier. Day is going to be 97. So we're out here early. And what we're going to do, why we're not working on the cabin actually this moment, is because we're waiting on siding and we're waiting on some soffit that's supposed to be coming in tomorrow. So today I've seen videos where people are using their mini excavators to cut firewood. Well, this is a red oak that was laid down last year. It's not rotten in any way. So I figured, hey, let's make a video about the mini excavator making firewood. What do you think? Well, I love the MEC goes. I mean, I had good luck with all our chainsaws, but that hadn't been started in like 5 months. So what I'm going to do is just take the big pieces up on top of the hill and with the mini excavator and cut them up there, so I don't have to like bring all the wood back out. And we'll just make a big pile, and then we can take the mini excavator and just pick up the pieces and set in the back of the side by side, so I can save my neck and back. I think I can handle all that. All right, so one thing I've learned is always carry your logs uphill with the logs in front of you up the hill. So don't try to go down the hill with the logs. Don't like pick them up from behind and try to go pick them up from, if you have to pick them from behind, swing them around slowly to the front and go up the hill with them that way. That way you don't have the tendency to want to tilt backwards. Anyway, this is just a test. It's just a test. I'm not even supposed to be cutting firewood today. I just ordered a single tooth ripper. So that's where we're not going to be able to dig around stumps or trees I want to take up. You can just go in and just rip the roots up one at a time. However, I think that single tooth with the thumb is going to make it a lot better for like firewood. First off, it's going to be lighter than this bucket. And then second off, it's going to be much more narrow. So you can, slice closer to the actual excavator. So this is going to leave, I could have went and put the 8-inch bucket on and it would have been better. But hey, now we know. I actually thought about putting the 8-inch bucket on it, but I didn't. So if you had somebody to run the excavator and somebody to run the chainsaw, I think you could go through some firewood quick. I'm ready for cool weather so that I can put some pants back on and work boots. These 97-degree days are kicking my butt. think about a mini excavator doing firewood, I'm very impressed overall. You know, in our kind of woods, we've got some fairly sloped ground. I think it's very, very viable for that. You're going to always carry your load in front of you going up the hill so that your weight's tilting towards the uphill. I think that just, you know, you got to be smart too. And then I think also like a ripper or a single tooth ripper or like a 8-inch trench bucket would be better. That way you could cut your firewood in lengths. I got a few here that are over length. This is just camp firewood, so it doesn't really matter. It saves your back, you know. I mean, could you do this other ways? Absolutely. But if you have, you know, if you're going to like get wood from way down the hill and track it up pieces at a time, I think this is, you know, okay. Another thing I can think of, Tanya just brought this up, is like, you know, the tractor can't get into this. It's too many small trees. It's too narrow of a space, where this little, you know, mini excavator, even if you went to the next size up mini excavator, say you went to a 2-ton unit, this is a little over one. I think this is called a 1.4. So if you went to a 2-ton unit, you could still get into places you couldn't get in with a tractor, because you can maneuver in and around trees. So that's a plus. Plus, I mean, I didn't ever feel like I was going to get stuck or anything back here in the woods. Obviously, there's always circumstances, but so the next thing I want to do is try to load this up in the back of the Bighorn UTV. This is a Bighorn Pro Max. We'll go ahead and put the bed up, and I'm just going to see how much time. It's really not about the time. I'm pretty sure that I could load this wood up quicker by hand. However, it's more about protecting my back, having to bend over all this many times to pick all that pieces of wood up. Some of it's going to be, you know, 30 pounds or so. Some of those pieces will be heavier than others, especially if you get into bigger trees. But this is just a test. This is only a test. So this is another nice thing I just figured out. Because you don't have to engage the blade all the way down, and it's very precise, where tractor moves up and down a lot. With this, I can just take all the firewood, push it all out into the open. Even if I'm going to pick it up by hand, this will be much easier. Then I'm going to be on a flat surface to do it. All right, I'm going to throttle this thing down a little bit because I think it's going to be too fast. I'm going to go ahead and tell you something now. When I offloaded all of these rounds up by the shop, I did not give them credit for how heavy they were. I'm not sure that I could have done this as fast as I did by hand, maybe 20 years ago. But that red oak was very heavy. That's red oak. You see the back of the UTV kind of squat when I dropped that. That tells you how much that weighs. That was a pretty heavy piece. Nothing we couldn't pick up by hand, but again, we're saving our back. So when you're doing this, you don't want to be right up on it because of the way the thumb. When you add the quick connect for the bucket, it actually messes with the angles of the thumb and the bucket. It actually lowers the thumb. If you're going to do this a lot, I would recommend taking the quick connect completely off. What? My wife said I got a lot of dirt in it. That's why I don't like to run it full throttle. It's really fast. All right, I want to pick it all up by the thumb, but it's realistic. And I mean, I know that seems lazy, but as hot as it is out here, if I'd had to do all that by hand, cut all that firewood up, drag it up 1 or 2 pieces at a time up that hill, I mean, that would have been it. I would be done for the day. I'm not a young chick no more. I'm a rooster that's long in the spur. What? I got the look behind the camera. If you could only have seen that. They don't got teeth. You can't say long in the tooth. So this right here is where I run into, I've got these 2 pieces that I'm not even going to worry about because they're a little long. And I got one that's a little long here. The reason I'm not going to worry about it, like this is campfire firewood, so it doesn't have to go in a fireplace or a stove. This is going to be campfire firewood. But if it had the ripper or the 8-inch bucket, it would allow me to be more precise in my cutting my sizes. Now the drawback to this, I mean, this unit could stand to be a little bit heavier for doing this. So a 2-ton unit would probably be better, but the price point between say most of the 2-ton units are going to come in around $10,000 to $12,000. This one's going to come in at right around 72, 70, no more than 8. Especially if you buy the attachments, you can get a lot of the attachments for around $8,000. And it's been a solid rig so far, but doing this, you start getting to bigger trees. Now we have some red oaks that we're going to cut down here. They're going to be 20 inches in diameter in the back. Probably need it, for that we probably would, a 2-ton unit would be better, I think. But you could do it, you just have to do it in smaller pieces. Still beats doing it by hand. Our neighbor coming over to see us with his big horn.